Hey you guys, it's Britt. Tonight we're here with two updates regarding Ruby Franke and Jodi Hildebrandt. They both have to do with court hearings, and I want to bring you guys up to speed as to what's been going on, what has been said specifically by Ruby, and just go over the updates. So if you're interested, please keep watching. All right, you guys, now some of the things that I'm going to be discussing in this video will be very hard to listen to, but I would say I don't usually like to blanket statement stuff. I think some of you guys will know that, but in terms of this 8 passengers, Ruby Franke and Jodi Hildebrandt case that is unfolding, I would say that any of the content covering this will probably be a trigger warning because all of the things that are being talked about are just so heavy, so difficult, so tragic. And if that is upsetting for you, I completely understand. But as a general rule, if you are taking in content from not only me, but any content creator who is covering this, I would just say that go into it knowing that it could be triggering depending on I know a lot of people have experienced things like this in their own lives. I wanted to go ahead and put that in the beginning just in case I don't mention it in every video, just as a rule of thumb. Anything Ruby Franke related to do with this case with Jodi Hildebrandt, it could be triggering. So let's go over what I think is it's obviously the more recent and probably what most of you guys are interested in hearing, and that is the court appearance that she and Jodi both had today, which is September 8th. And this just happened, just completed. So I'm filming this video and getting it up immediately for you guys, because initially I was going to join the live feed that they were streaming, but unfortunately it got filled up, and that's totally fine. I wasn't going to use it as content to stream because that is not allowed. I ended up receiving the updates anyhow, just like the rest of anyone who is discussing this did. And the good news that came out of this is that Ruby and Jodi both are not going to receive bail, and they are going to sit in prison. They are both going to be continuing to sit in jail until at least September 21st when their bail hearings happen. Now, with Jodi, her attorney is really trying to speed this process along so that Jodi can get released, and I hope that there are stops put to this, but again, my hope is very low because I think that I just think that there's a lot of questionable behavior and questionable activities happening out there in Utah, and that's where I will leave it for now. But the important update is that both of them will be in jail for at least for now, which is good because I was concerned that they were possibly going to be released, and who knows what they would do to take freedom into their own hands, knowing that prison is next for both of them. I'm very glad that they are still in jail. That is what happened at the hearing today, and there is something going around where it's a screenshot, which I will show, of people saying that Chad was on the Zoom. And here's what I want to say about that, because Chad himself has not confirmed this or denied it. But what I want to say is people will do anything in order to get people talking. That could have been anything. That could have been a short little video clip from one of their vlogs. I don't know. And whether or not he was in the hearing, it makes me very sad, no matter what the truth is. But a lot of people are talking about how he was shown for a few seconds, and if he was there, it's tragic. If he was not there, it's tragic. if somebody was using his image or a video clip to make it seem like he was there, then I think that they're sick and twisted, because this is just not something where that type of stuff should be going on. And I saw in the Long Crime live stream that was going on, you know, there were people in this WebEx who were making sounds like they were children, and the live chat was filled with a bunch of really immature, just gross behavior. This is exactly what I'm talking about, and the first video I made after Ruby's arrest was announced, I said, I hope that people cover this with kindness, grace, and compassion, because it is so heavy and so dark. And unfortunately, we have people who are making mockery, making jokes out of it, and using it as a form of entertainment or a way to make themselves wealthier. Zav Girl jumped on this bandwagon. I'm not surprised at all, because she is the same person who was trying to charge people to see autopsy images of a child. So I'm not surprised at all. During times like this, you really see who is out there to provide updates from a point of caring about the story that is unfolding versus the people that are just using it as a way to make money. And it's very, very clear to see these creators a mile away. And unfortunately, I knew that this was going to happen, but I did see her streaming this and whatever. Now, I will, of course, show an image of Ruby just real briefly from this Twitter account. Hey guys, I also wanted to add here that evidently the reason that Ruby and Jodi were in two different colors of prison uniform is because Ruby recently went to medical, and based on my understanding, that's why she is in a different color than Jodi is. Ruby, to me, if we're going to talk about personal appearances for just a quick second, I think she looks tired. I think that she looks like there's a look on her face like the gig is up. And Jodi here looks very frazzled and just like she is, you know, wallowing in her storm that she created alongside Ruby here. It's just really, in this article, which I'll link down below, people are, you know, pointing out the fact that people were acting very unprofessional and very immature on the WebEx meeting, and it caused tech issues. And, you know, the judge could have said, F this, it's being postponed, and just shut everything down. I'm glad that we still got the update that we got, but it's just unfortunate the way that some people handle stuff. And at the end of the day, we are still talking about children who were abused by their people that were supposed to be their caregivers. And you have people jumping on this WebEx barking and making baby sounds and putting all kinds of troll comments in the live chat. It just sickens me to see the way the internet behaves a lot of days. Now, let's talk about the court appearance that she had yesterday, because this is also being widely discussed, and I was in absolute disbelief when I first read what Ruby was saying. Let's just go from the top. It says, Mother of 6 Ruby Franke sobbed in court as she appeared for a shelter hearing for her 4 minor children to determine custody. Speaking to the public courtroom Thursday, the Mormon mom at times broke down as she made shocking claims that one of her minor children SA'd their sibling and M'd several other family members and children in the neighborhood over the years. The popular YouTuber was arrested along with her business partner, Jodi Hildebrandt, last month and charged with 6 counts of felony child abuse after one of her sons was discovered with open wounds and duct tape on their limbs. Franke, 41, appeared via video from a Utah jail where she remains on no bail hold till at least her next court appearance, which is scheduled Friday, and that was the one that I just went over. No bail for her, so she is continuing to sit in there until at least September 21st, which I discussed earlier in this video. And then it shows Kevin and his attorney, Randy Kester, outside the courthouse, and it says the court hearing presided over by Judge Bazell lasted just 30 minutes, and inside was Franke's husband Kevin with his attorney Randy Kester at another table with the state's attorneys and what appeared to be Franke's two oldest daughters, appearing to be accompanied by an attorney as well. Seeming to pin the blame for her behavior over her children, Franke went into horrific detail about how one of their 6 kids abused other children. She claimed that one of the Franke kids began looking at corn at just 3 years old. Where do you think this child, let's just say, if that is true, where on earth do you think that kid is gaining access to this kind of content? Why on earth would a 3-year-old be able to access that kind of content? I don't believe Ruby anyway, but if we're going to go off of what she's saying, how's this literally a 3-year-old child? You're trying to tell me a 3-year-old child is going to go on a device and actually know how to look at that and watch it without supervision? Like, what? It doesn't even make any sense to me, and it sickens me that she's turning on her children. In one of the most shocking claims, Franke said that her child had been essaying a younger sibling for years, and added that eventually the two of them began to abuse other children. She also claimed her 2 children played a patting game with each other, but did not go into further detail. Franke said that in May, her child confessed to SAing 20 people, including cousins and neighbors. She provided no proof of her sickening allegations. The court went eerily silent after Ruby made these disturbing claims. The judge then said that her alleged abusive child will then need to be placed in a home with no other children. I don't know what a patting game is. I have no idea. What I want to say is I believe, in my opinion, allegedly, this is a way for Ruby to punish that youngest child for exiting Jodi's home and asking for help. Because if it wasn't for him exiting the home and literally saving his siblings, Ruby would not be sitting in jail right now. She would have not been found out. So in my opinion, this is her way of continuing to punish him, even though she is not physically present with the child. She can say this, provide no proof, and for now, it sounds like the court's going to go along with what she is saying and make sure that he is not reunited with his siblings. Ruby knowing how upset that is going to make that child and how much harder it's going to be for him to heal when he is not around his siblings. He is not allowed around children because of her claims, her monstrous, disgusting claims backed up with no proof. And see, here's the thing. I am well aware of Adam and Jesse. Adam and Jesse are sharing their experience with Jodi Hildebrandt. Now, Jesse is actually a family member. They are a niece of Jodi Hildebrandt. And Jesse went on to the Mormon Stories podcast and shared their story about what it was like growing up around Jodi Hildebrandt and some of the pain and awful things that Jodi put Jesse through as a child. The thing is like, now we know who Jodi and Ruby really are, and it's giving these people the courage to come out and share their stories, because now Jodi and Ruby are in jail. If they were not in jail, then who knows what could happen to these people for speaking out against someone like Jodi. But Jodi has been exposed. Ruby has been exposed. They are both sitting in jail, giving people the sigh of relief and the strength to be able to come out and share some of their personal experiences having dealt with somebody like Jodi, a monster, an absolute sickened, deranged monster who made children's lives a living hell. With Adam and Jesse sharing their story, I'm obviously not going to sit on my channel and react to them sharing their trauma because, number one, I listened to it and I don't think that I can listen to it a second time. It is so disturbing and so upsetting, and it also just feels very icky to sit on my channel and watch and react to somebody sharing such awful, awful, grave details of the trauma that they experienced as a child. That just doesn't feel right for me. But what I am going to do is I'm going to link those videos in my description box. Massive trigger warning. They are very, very detailed and very dark. But if you are interested, you can hear them tell it. If that's something that you're interested in. For Ruby to turn on her children and come out with these claims, in my opinion, I don't think that she is telling the truth. And I think that she is somebody who desperately doesn't want to go to prison, and she's willing to throw her own children to the wolves if it means that she will get a little bit of revenge and maybe not get as much heat as if she would if she were to just come out and take full accountability for what she did. It is so sad, and just, there really aren't a whole lot of words that you can use to describe this situation. But the one thing that I can say is I am very, very glad that they did not get out on bond and they have no bail. Let them sit there and let them ponder as to what might happen next and sit in their disgust and clear denial. And maybe it's time for them to repent. You know, these people like to go around saying how everyone needs to repent. Sounds like it might be Ruby and Jodi that need to sit in their disgust and repent for a little while, or at least until September 21st. But those are the updates that I wanted to provide you guys with as of today. Of course, I will continue to cover this. I'm also going to try to get some other content filmed, but as I mentioned in another video, I work full time and I have other stuff outside of YouTube that needs my attention as well. So I really appreciate your all's patience. But that's the update as of today. Tell me how you feel down below. So for now, if you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.